it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Oh, we're already breaking the demonetization. Whatever it's
Call me O'Reilly the way I'm stacking these bills.
Oh my god.
All right, should we just restart?
Turn the video off.
No. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to the Unpaid Nobodies, where we talk about news and music and hip hop and everything all at once. Welcome to the yellow episode.
All is yellow.
All is yellow, except anything any of us are wearing.
Yeah, we did not plan accordingly. This is kind of yellow.
We also all have several pieces of Lyrical Lemonade merch that none of us are wearing.
That's also true. We did not plan ahead.
No,
Jasper,
but
shut up. I came prepared.
Yeah.
Observe.
Yeah.
Oh, there
that doesn't count.
I should have brought my shoe socks.
Yeah.
The Shondoms.
The Shondoms, yeah.
Yeah. I have those. I have the little thing that came in. I thought like the package design was genius.
The package design was really nice.
Yeah.
I never opened mine.
Oh, wait, I actually also hold on.
Okay, here we go.
Are you gonna flex your little lemonade stuff?
No, I got another one of these.
Oh, okay.
Here you go.
Oh,
a little something.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah, we're here. We're live. Well,
we're live.
Another week. We're
another
reviewing
week.
All is Yellow.
We got a lot of news, not a whole lot of releases.
No.
Well, a lot of news.
Yes, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Believe it or not, Soulja Boy's dropping an album this week.
It's probably going to be genius. Like,
what if it's album of the year? Like, let's be honest here.
What if it's a Griselda album? What if it's produced by The Alchemist?
Honestly,
all of our Griselda boys. Jasper, don't say honestly. This is not a good combination.
No,
We're not going to
entertain it. Snaps Purvis out of joke mode immediately. It's like, oh shit, he could think this is real.
Yeah. I refuse. But yeah, that is literally the only album. Very, very slow week for albums, but we have a couple of big singles.
Yeah.
Don Toliver did drop Bandit with the music video in the middle today.
Did we watch it? Listen to it?
I've watched part of the video, listened to the song several times. Love it. I'm excited.
I liked the song and loved the video.
Okay.
I thought the song was good. I did not think it was great. I thought the snippet at the end of the video for the other song was better.
Ooh. Nah, I missed that. I didn't know there was a snippet.
No, there's a snippet at the end of the video that I think sounds better than the song. Not that it sounds bad. I think Bandit is a good track. I think it is a solidly good track. Maybe even very good, but certainly not great.
Now, am I tweaking? This is what we heard at Travis Scott's concert.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I was pretty sure, but I wasn't 100% confident. Yeah, excited for that. Maybe a new chapter of Don coming out.
Yeah. He releases often.
He does release often. So hopefully we finally get that breakthrough that we've been praying for.
Yeah.
We also have both of your Golden Boys, Kid Cudi and Denzel Curry, are collabing for Black Ops.
Yeah, for Blops.
I literally just found out about this.
Yeah, this is my first time hearing about this, but yeah, this is. I mean, they've collabed already together. I love Denzel Curry. Spoiler alert for later. Like,
yeah, we know he's one of your Golden Boys.
Yeah, he's.
All we need is Jit now. We would literally have the trifecta again.
Yeah, it's 100%. Like, so I'm into this.
I am curious, and Jasper, I'm asking you this because you would know more than us. What happened to the extended version
of Insano?
Is it still coming out?
I think it is. I think he said he had enough material for it, but I'm assuming that it's going to be like a later deluxe thing. Maybe he tours for it and then it goes on sale for the tour or something. I could see that being an option.
Okay, bet.
I'm glad we didn't get it all at once though.
Yeah, it would be a lot. It was already a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it feels like the vibe in this podcast about deluxe editions depends on the artist. And I did not leave Insano thinking, I want more of this. Right? Like,
I want it less.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, I didn't, that's just generally how I felt about it. So I am not holding my breath for a extended.
Yeah.
It would have to be a For All the Dogs level change in quality in the deluxe.
Which was a very, very big jump.
And even that I thought was like cool, but not anything worth writing home about.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Mick Jenkins gave us a deluxe album technically.
Yeah, he did. It was just 2 songs, but it was good. It was good. I like those songs a lot, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm not anti-deluxe by any stretch. It's just like, the album has to leave me wanting more for me to get excited for a deluxe. Mick Jenkins, absolutely. After Hours, when the deluxes were coming out for that, absolutely.
Give me more.
Yeah, but, Insano, no, not at all. Like,
yeah.
One thing that I always appreciate for deluxe is when content that's on the original album is like referential to stuff that isn't necessarily clear until the deluxe comes out. Because it's like something that was potentially cut that we find they're like, oh, that's what that means. I had that moment last week when I was listening to Call Me If You Get Lost again. And I was listening, like I was really trying to decipher all the lyrics from the fast part of Massa.
Yeah.
And there's a part where he says, "This is wharf talk you can't relate to." And I didn't know what that was referencing until I was like, oh, the song Wharf Talk that was cut and then was on the deluxe. That's pretty cool.
That actually does make sense.
That's just like I feel like that is just such a creative happenstance that it just can't be manufactured. It's just something that just has to happen.
Yeah.
And therefore it's like, it seems like a weird bar of quality because it's something that can only happen by happenstance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if it's directly like it tells how good a project is or anything or a song, but I think it's just like a fun Easter egg that comes with the territory of like cut songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm about to be on the lookout for that, to be honest. See if there's other examples.
Yeah. All right, run through the rest of the singles.
Yes, some of the other singles. We have Daniel Caesar coming out with Waiting in Vain, which someone was saying could be a cover to
the Bob Dylan song. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to hear that.
No, that'd be good. Yeah. No, I love a good. Bob Dylan is the most coverable artist of all time. So like,
that's fair.
Daniel Caesar covering a Bob Dylan song sounds up his alley. Sounds great. Yeah, like
absolutely. I don't know if I even heard the original, so this would be fun for me. And I also like his cover of Streetlights, which he did very well.
Yeah.
Moving
on to a cover of Kitchen Lights.
I don't know if I can imagine him selling cocaine. But anyway, we have Logic coming out with Fear.
Yikes.
We have Usher.
It works.
We have Usher and Pills coming out with Rain.
Good joke, Jasper.
Is a lead up single to the Super Bowl stuff.
Yeah.
Which they took away from us. No Lions, no Ravens. It's Black History Month. They could have at least given us that.
Yeah, I know.
It's red team versus red team, folks.
Yeah.
It's Republicans versus Republicans.
Those are dynasties for you. This is football. Anyone who told you anything different was going to happen was lying to you or doesn't understand the sport. Like,
it could be worse. You could be a Formula One fan today.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Who's the person that signed?
Oh my God.
Oh God, what did I just?
I do not want to do a Formula One thing right now. I do not.
My boy.
No, we have to pull out. We have to pull out. I'm sorry.
Like a bass boost.
Hey yo. Pause.
We started way later. We can't do Formula One. Like
Jasper's gonna edit in his camera, just bass boosted turning.
If he wants to do the editing this week, that's great. But like, oh my God, Conway the Machine.
Yes. Coming out with latex gloves, because what else do you wear when you sell cocaine?
Yeah, that's for when you're shooting a gun. Did you know that?
I mean, they go well with a fur coat.
Yeah. It's so like you don't get the gunpowder residue on your hands.
All right, Brandon.
Okay, I'm sorry I know why things exist. I'm sorry I know why this is named the way it is. I bet you don't even know that you get gunpowder residue on your hands. I bet you've never even shot a gun.
I just want a shot-for-shot remake of John Wick with Brandon instead of Keanu Reeves.
I would do it.
I know you would.
Just the camera shooting over them. That was a really dope scene in the movie.
Yeah, where it looks like Hotline Miami. Yeah, that was sick.
I fucking love it. It was sick. You guys called this out, the baby and that Mexican OT. It just makes sense.
It makes sense. I don't know. I listened to the snippet and I thought it sounded good. And you know I'm a huge fan of that Mexican OT. So like I'll be listening to this. I imagined his first big feature being so much better than the baby.
Yeah.
I get it though, like because Jasper
It
made
just
the
makes sense.
connection in
Yeah, you
the
called
Golden
it.
Nugget special, and like he's dead on. So like I don't think it's a bad combination at all. And it looks like the music video is going to be a big send up of Pulp Fiction, so that's going to be fun. I just
Love
hoped, I just thought that Mexican OT would get, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe his first big feature was Paul Wall last year.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess you're right. Yeah, okay, so. But yeah, no, I'm excited just because, like, I'm a big fan of the guy, and I like the song he dropped this year, so whatever he drops, I'm going to listen to.
Oh, yeah. Well, moving on to our last single, I saved this for last because it's going to transition into our news. We have Zakari dropping Ocean, and if you guys don't know, Zakari is signed to TDE.
Yeah, he's an R&B
And-
singer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's on a
moving
bunch
in-
of Damn.
Yes, and he does a fantastic job. I love his own music as well.
But yeah, let's talk about like the
TDE, the biggest news.
debatably the biggest news of the week.
I don't know if you want to consider a leak if it was official, but
No, it seemed
essentially
official.
yeah, it essentially everyone on TDE is dropping an album this year.
Yes.
It's what was announced.
Starting with who is now their heavy hitter. They're now their fucking capstone artist, Schoolboy Q. Your main guy, March 1st.
I'm gonna drive my car into the lake.
Yeah.
Just
And
out of
Doechii, who is an artist I called out in the beginning of the year, is someone who's I'm very excited about dropping.
yes,
So
it's
I
gonna
am
be
very
great.
excited.
We have SZA with Lana. We
yeah.
have Sir already dropping a single. We have J Rock already dropping a single. Zakari's now dropping a single.
Yeah, Isaiah's dropping this year.
Yeah, Isaiah's dropping this year. He just did the 10-year anniversary. It's a lot going on, so maybe we're gonna see a little revival.
I would love for this to be a TDE year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they announced they were doing they're finally doing the label album like Dreamville. So maybe that's gonna come in December.
I hope so.
Just wrap.
Can't believe
everything up.
Dreamville didn't have Martin Luther King on it. Very disappointed.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed too.
It's the first day of Black History Month. I had to get one in there.
I'm just so upset that it worked so well.
I had to get one in there. I'm sorry.
You're walking into
You
the Lions.
wasted it. You have a whole month and you wasted it.
No, I did. Hey, hold on. We got. I have 2 more opportunities to do this. All right.
Use them wisely.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Choose wisely.
We got the low hanging fruit out of the way.
Yeah.
Look, you could have went lower, so I'll give you that.
But it's all about.
Moving on to the rest of the news for the week. We have Benny X labeled as the producer of 2023 by Complex. And he went as far. He's a very humble person. He said Metro was better.
Yeah.
So
I mean, first off, like, yeah, I 100% agree that Metro is a better producer than Benny X. But
a good year.
He had a really good year last year, Benny X. So like
he was all over the place.
I don't know. Like I don't look.
Here's
Here's the thing. Like, who's the better producer? Metro Boomin every time. Who had a better 2023?
It's gotta be Benny X.
That's a. I think it might be a toss up, but I certainly might come down. I certainly would probably come down on the side of Benny X.
He was extremely active last year. It honestly doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
I found him in albums I didn't even like. He was in R&B albums last year. So,
not to mention the huge hit off the Drake album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was also on Leon Thomas's album that I was talking about.
Yeah,
that snuck into my top 5. So
yeah, he did Porsche Topless, I thought.
Yep.
He did Meltdown.
Yeah, he did Meltdown.
Slime You Out. He did K-pop.
Okay.
Well,
the beat is not bad. It's what's over it that's criminal.
Yeah,
plenty of Yeet.
Yeah,
Lil Uzi.
A lot of Lil Uzi. I saw a tweet that I thought was really funny, where someone basically was like criticizing the fact that Benny X is like popular now, and was like, "Man, these beats have been passed around like insert derogatory comment about women," and he replied to it, and he was like, "Yeah, that's the point." And it's like, yeah, you must be new to this whole newfangled rap thing if you think that a producer being exposed and being used by lots of artists is a bad thing.
No, yeah,
interesting.
Yeah,
interestingly bad. Also, very dumb take.
Yeah, no, very bad and dumb take. But yeah, no.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah, no. I mean, I definitely I feel like Benny X is probably producer of 2023. I think that's a completely fair, like uncontroversial take. And yeah, Metro's a better producer. So like I ain't mad at what he said either. All right.
Well,
this is
we
actually
want to talk about controversial
first. Okay, but first, before we get into the beef, we should do the
Okay.
album announcement because there is going to be Megan Thee Stallion announced an album coming out as well as a stadium tour this summer.
We will probably be there.
We will be there. Yeah, but
I would want to be there.
Yeah, well, yeah, Megan is probably my top 5 artists I want to see live. So yeah, and I've really liked
United
this.
Center, probably.
Yeah, I'd say
probably United Center.
Probably United Center. Probably
That
United
makes
Center.
sense.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it'd be wild if she did the Aragon. I think that would be a better show.
No way. She's too big.
Too big. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I could see is that maybe, just maybe, her stop here is maybe like a Lala appearance.
Yeah.
I could see either of those. In which case, we would be there. So, yeah. So I'm very excited. I definitely think Megan is primed to possibly drop album of the year. This is her first album going independent. I thought Hiss was low-key like the best diss track since like The Life of Adidon, probably. And honestly,
get a lot of diss tracks nowadays.
Honestly, I'm gonna say it's better because I think it's a better song.
The Story of Adidon?
I think Hiss is a better song than The Story of Adidon.
I got to think about that.
I think Back to Back is really the only song, like
That's
the only
like the
diss track that came out of my life that was like as listenable as this. Because yeah, usually diss tracks are like, oh, that's cool, and then you forget about it. Like, who's listening to Kill Shot right now? But like,
you don't want to keep listening to artists
Nah.
go at each other.
But man, did she just breed the industry people to filth?
Yeah.
And someone reacted poorly.
Before we do go into the timeline, I will say there's one diss track I will never skip and will always listen to all the way through without fail.
What is it?
What's that?
Hit 'em Up.
Oh yeah, that one doesn't count.
That's fair.
Classic.
Yeah.
That's an actual classic.
Yeah, no, I mean,
certified.
I meant it is such a classic that like almost doesn't count as like being like,
it's
oh,
not a diss track.
Yeah, right?
giving us such hit lines as "You better back the fuck up before you get smacked the fuck up."
No.
It's true.
Nah, poetry.
The man was onto something. But yeah, it caused a lot of controversy.
But yeah, no,
was not happy.
So yeah, basically Megan called out Nicki Minaj's husband for being a pedophile, which apparently he is.
Wow.
With a very clever bar.
Which she's actually getting sued for.
About Megan's Law.
Yeah, apparently, like the dad behind Megan's Law is actually suing her. It's so much.
I
mess
doubt
that came out of this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. That's like what spectacle is, right? Like,
well, yeah.
Like, you know, that's like what hip hop is. So it's like I'm not gonna get too mad.
It is a car on fire. You drive past it slow and you look at it and then you keep.
And the other thing is that like I think the majority of people she's calling out fucking deserve it. Right?
That
like basically because the main point of the song is that she's like, fuck you to everyone who was like cheering on my downfall when I got shot in the foot. And like, yeah, at this point in time, you can't falter on that, right? Like, there's a reason why Jid took the Tory Lanez mention off 2007, right?
He's a smart man.
Yeah, which by the way, Megan Jid feature, that would go crazy. Like
next album.
Next album. But yeah, no, I thought it was a fantastic song, and Nicki Minaj is responding poorly. I think she went on like a 48-hour meltdown.
Yeah, it was a whole live stream. That
her fans apparently doxed Megan's mom's grave.
Yep, that did happen as well.
I saw that. Yeah, that I did.
Like I said, it is literally a car on fire.
And then she dropped the worst diss track
and
ever.
AI covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly, the Bigfoot one with the the 3 toes. Yeah.
I didn't hear the song, unfortunately, but
I heard like the first 45 seconds and I was like, no. Ooh, you could tell it's a bad diss track because she spends like the first minute like saying shit and not rap. Yeah, like the Meek Mill diss track.
It's the build up to it.
Yeah. That's how you know it's going to be ass. So yeah, no, it was just pathetic. And like, it is like kind of crazy because like seeing the arc Nicki Minaj has gone on through my life.
It's been wild.
Because like when she popped off, like no one liked her because no one really respected her at first because they just thought she was the super bass kind of person. And then there was a real like I would say right around the time Cardi B hit, there was a real rectifying with like, no, Nicki Minaj was like our generation's like my generation's like premier female rapper.
You tend to not notice in the moment and then appreciate it afterwards.
100%. And then there's been the flood of female talent ever since Cardi B and hit.
And she was a major impact to that.
And Nicki Minaj has had quite the falling from grace. And I don't think there's any recovery. I think we truly saw like the end of one of Young Money's biggest artists ever.
Did anyone listen to her last album? I just haven't gotten to
I've heard it was pretty decent. I
That's
heard
what I've heard, but I haven't.
No, I haven't even gotten around to listening to the J. Cole song.
I missed 50K for a verse, no album out, Nicki, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was prime.
Yeah, no, she was great. Roman's Revenge. You know, that was awesome.
A lot of classics. It's the attitude. It's having that strong attitude behind it. Allowed so many people to kind of come into the industry in a positive sense, I would say. But yeah, enough about that beef. On to corporation beef.
No, this is huge.
This is actually extremely big news. This is kind of wild if you think about it. But essentially, TikTok is going to have to pull all music that is underneath UMG, Universal Music Group.
Yeah. So listen,
for people who don't know, that's like
everyone. That's everyone from Taylor Swift to Travis Scott.
That is literally all pop and rap music you hear on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be.
I think if you want to know why this is happening, I think you just gotta follow the money. Clearly, the lo-fi artist on TikTok, because their music's about to be getting used a lot. Like,
yes, absolutely. And there's another
clearly
video,
they've orchestrated this whole thing.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all for lo-fi. I'm not against that. But Isaac actually sent a video to us on Instagram, and the creator was saying, like, because I think tonight is actually the deadline for them to figure out like a deal or something. Everyone should start saving their videos because your like top trending video that might have 10 million views on it is just going to get muted. And if you don't have it saved, that's essentially lost. So it's just a lot of drama behind it, and it's corporation bullshit and America.
Corpo bullshit. I hate it.
So how do we actually feel about it from like a personal standpoint? Like, does it matter? Do you think that this music is just not going to be on this platform as far as like putting something to music that's like a short video clip?
I mean, like, I do think there is some realm of creativity where people take these songs and they do like cool, interesting things with it.
Yeah, like I do that on Instagram with reels for stuff sometimes.
But like, and the other thing is that I think what those songs, I think the primary benefit, and this is obviously going to be a very biased thing I'm going to say, but for obvious reasons. I think the main thing, like what those songs do on like TikTok is like as like discovery functions where you see like other people who have tagged the song. Like, for example, if some, I send Purvis music analysis TikToks all the time. And like, they're always like, even if it's not like audible, right? Like if they're talking about Travis Scott's last album, Fiend is like the song that's like there. So like it's an access for discovery to like that piece of content. You see what I mean? So I think that's the biggest loss here. Me, like, I kind of hear this whole thing and like, don't get me wrong, I feel for all the creative people that are losing like their ability to like keep their content that they've made and like either monetized or just even got clout off and did something with, which is probably the most valuable thing it could do. Like, yeah, I feel for all those people. I feel like this is just corpo bullshit, and like they'll come up with some some way to fleece hardworking people out of their money that will let them put their music back on TikTok. Like,
that's pretty much. I'm kind of in the same stance. I'm more worried about the creators that like utilize it because there's a video I saw. In terms of the corporations, I don't care if either one of them succeeds or fails.
yeah,
in terms of TikTok or
fuck them both.
UMG, but what I would say, they I won't say they need each other, but I feel like they aren't taking all things into consideration. Like TikTok is the number one source of like discovery and finding music as of right now.
Yeah,
And like I understand there's plenty of major large artists underneath UMG that does not need any more exposure. But it honestly
yeah.
does
Taylor
wonders for
Swift
like
doesn't need.
yeah, she doesn't
Right.
need anything. But someone like Jid, who
Yeah.
technically doesn't need it either, but the fact that surround sound
I found
just
that
kind of
Mexican
blew
OT
up.
on TikTok.
There you go.
That's how I found him. I found him on TikTok. I found Joey Valance and Braze on TikTok.
Yep.
I found Flyana Boss on TikTok. I've probably found more high quality music off TikTok than pretty much most social media platforms, actually.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, TikTok has a lot of fucking bullshit on it, but like, as far as a music discovery platform, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's true. And anything, this is going to hurt TikTok more than UMG, in my personal guess. But
oh shit, do you know who I found on TikTok?
Who'd you find?
Huge band for me, massive band for me.
Turnstile.
Yeah, Turnstile. I found Turnstile on TikTok.
But
yeah,
I'll come full circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, enough of that.
All right.
Moving on to the rest of the news.
Now let's go down to some potentially good news.
Yes, about 3 more things to cover. We have Chance has announced that he will be doing a show called B-Sides and C-Sides on February 16th.
Yeah.
Low-key, you guys are down?
At the Ramova Theater?
Yes.
He sells B-Sides by the seashore.
You've done enough today.
Yeah, we're going to we have to have time out for Jasper.
I will put you down.
Bruh.
No more soundboards either.
It's just Chance. Don't ruin this for me. Honestly, I might look into this if you guys are down. I'm gonna see how much the tickets are.
Yeah, tell me what it's about.
But excited for that. Hopefully, Chance release soon. He did say spring, so
yeah,
it's right around the corner. Moving on from that, we have a 2-part of news for Kanye.
We'll see. Yeah,
he's back. The official first
refuses
track list.
To die.
He's not gonna die. The official first track list was released. I believe Northwest was wearing a shirt or something. Lot of features. The fact that there's a track list seems like there's progress, but I have no idea.
No, I don't trust this at all. This is gonna be Fugazi.
Look, the average is about 300 days late for his albums, and we're not even at 100, so buckle in.
Yeah. Could you imagine if this is when he starts dropping albums on time? Like,
yeah, no, I'll be very upset. I mean, he's already late by like about half a year, so.
Yeah.
Jasper, what's this? Is Adidas selling?
I had to put this in. Yeah, I had to put this in. This came out today.
Really?
Today's February 1st when we're recording. Earnings calls are happening for fiscal year, final quarter, whatever. Adidas stated that they are going to, instead of previously, as they thought, like just destroying or donating remaining Yeezy products because the split is still permanent with Kanye, they're going to actually go and sell off the rest of it. So we're going to get a whole bunch of other stuff because they're like, oh, hey, we did pretty well, better than we expected, but we could do better if we sell all this merch that is still tied to this super hype person.
I like money.
Yeah, literally.
God forbid a corporation have principles. Like,
God forbid a corporation not look out for their shareholders.
Yeah, no. That's not their job.
Yeah.
Brandon, you can ignore us for like 2 seconds. Jasper, is anything important dropping that I would?
I mean, we're getting more 500 highs.
Okay, fair enough.
Those are decent. Okay. I don't know.
All right. Well,
I don't know what else. Not everything has been confirmed. I hope we get V1s, more V1s. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I would get a V1, I guess. I haven't bought shoes in like half a year. Actually, more than that.
Same. I haven't bought anything this year so far.
Okay,
well, true. I mean, a full year. I haven't bought anything this year, like in the past 2 months.
All right. 1 month. But anyway, the last bit of news: Travis brought out Kanye for the Orlando show.
Of all
He
the
did
cities
like
to do this in,
5 or
Yeah.
6 shows. Yeah,
I
what
think
the
that's
heck?
where he's held up, though. I think he's been holding up in
I thought he
Miami
was in
and
Europe.
Orlando.
the parts of the country that are indifferent about whether or not Jewish people exist.
Yeah.
It's Florida.
Yeah,
Check
no.
Did you expect anything else?
Well, all of his
Yeah.
promo for Vultures the first time he threatened to release it, like all the promo was in Miami. Like,
Yeah.
so.
The verbiage just.
So
yeah,
what I'm hearing is that we could get a DJ Khaled Kanye cross tape.
Jesus, please no.
Yeah. Oh, and the guy who refuses to stand
can
up for
only
his
handle
own
so
people
much.
and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
can only do so
DJ
much.
Khaled comes on. I remember when they told me no. I looked him right in the eyes and I told
said,
him
"You
yes.
are the IDF." Like,
banned from all social media. Oh my god.
I hope there's a 6-minute DJ Khaled disc on 96 Miles from Bethlehem.
Look, we're gonna get a Belly album. He's gonna talk about everything, and we're gonna be restored.
Yeah, but only 3 people will listen to it.
Yeah, these 3.
Literally, it'll be us.
It will be us.
I have not seen anyone else anywhere mention like his project from last
Yeah.
year. Anywhere, nothing. Zero.
This has been this has been my struggle since 2016. Is to get.
You're just
people
trapped
to
in a
talk.
glass case.
I'm
of
just
emotion
like,
over there.
Belly is so good. Like
Right, it's been forcing Belly into me for like I don't know how long.
Belly and Big Crit, just like
I could, yeah.
they're
like
good. They're good.
All right, let's get to our last bit of news. Childish Gambino has been active again, just doing random Childish Gambino stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently
show
he's gonna have
comes
a
out
feature
tomorrow.
with Yeet, and his show's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, he's doing the remake of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
what
forgot
this
it
was-
a show.
that's
I
what
didn't
this
know
was
if it was
for,
a
yeah.
movie or a show.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, he was doing that hiring thing a couple of months back.
Yeah, that's for
Brandon,
like
didn't you
some.
apply?
I did, and never heard anything.
His like creative agency. That was a minute ago. Wasn't that like June
It
of
was a
last
while
year?
ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the high stuff has essentially been popping off in like. Apparently, I watched the trailer, whatever he put out. There was like 3 or 4 different things they were having people do, and one of them actually blew up. It was a comedian that was like taking off stage live, and like everybody was like, "What's going on?"
I
Like,
saw
the crowd
that.
freaked- That
I
was
saw that.
Childish Gambino.
Why?
I don't know. It was just
Yeah.
a part of it.
It's just like weird viral moments, I guess.
Yeah. No idea.
I don't understand.
It's because he can do it. That's why.
Weird meta bullshit is not what I had on my bingo card for Gambino for the
Yeah.
past 5 years or so.
Well, that's your fault. I saw the sweatpants video. Like,
Yeah, well, me too.
That's
But like,
never-
I expected good music to go along with it. Thank you very much.
I mean, you got Atlanta. You know, I think Atlanta's worth
we
at
did
least
get Atlanta.
at
I
least
know.
2 albums. Like,
Yeah,
More.
fair.
Okay, I haven't finished it, so you know better
I
than me.
don't like you.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
but yeah,
let's do
no.
our,
All right, are we doing schools in session?
we are doing scores in session.
Are you pulling them up right now?
Yeah, I'm pulling up a bunch of people. I'm gonna have to do a couple rotations. I think.
Oh wait, I gotta say, if Gambino does drop a new album, we need a song on there called "Thick Judge Judy."
No.
Wait, what?
Thick Judge Judy from Atlanta.
Fake Judge Judy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thick.
wait. Oh, fake Judge,
Judge Judy.
Jesus, I forgot about that. Wow. That was a
Oh,
deep cut. Okay. We're going to do our wrap.
He's also doing the Community movie, which I'm very excited about.
That
God.
would be fun. That is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, one thing I don't know if we mentioned Purvis while you're getting that pulled up. I
Mhm.
saw a thing about it this week. The whole like 21 Savage story was all just another stunt, so there's no actual anything coming out.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
That's something to put on there as well. I guess.
Yeah.
Stage depression.
Too weird to ever be a real thing. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
I had faith. It's Childish Gambino. Weird is what he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, school is in session.
Schools in
Gentlemen.
session, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hand out some grades.
First person, ASAP Rocky.
ASAP Rocky.
ASAP Rocky, the leader of.
That's
A$AP
a hard one for me. Because I
Go.
respect ASAP Rocky way more than I enjoy him.
Okay.
Agreed.
Like I recognize he's super talented. He's been incredibly important to the culture. He
He has.
shaped the sounds out of New York. Like Travis Scott definitely like crystallized it, but like
He kind of started it.
ASAP Rocky like created the psychedelic trap sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so. Whew.
And you have to take into account he is the leader of
ASAP Mob,
so
which has been huge.
he has his hands over all of that.
He's
I'm
married to
comfortable going with
Rihanna.
like I low-key was gonna
Yeah,
say
he's married to Rihanna, so
that doesn't matter.
it's the only
Look, if
time
you
your
can pull
spouse.
Rihanna, you get an extra.
There's only one other rapper who gets their spouse as part of their consideration.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z.
he's already an A tier. So
Yeah.
What was the line?
B+.
It's like,
I'm going B+.
I'm cool with a B.
yeah, I could see it B.
I think
works.
that's appropriate for ASAP.
I would give it B+.
What joke were you gonna make?
No, I was just gonna quote one of the Jay-Z lines about that exact thing, where it's like praising your own partner who also is in like the entertainment industry. It's I don't remember what song it is, but it's like he goes, "Girl, take it so long, you better look like Halle Berry." Big pause, or Beyonce. It's like the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take off the plus because the ASAP Rocky Puma Motorsport Formula One clothing collaboration that was supposed to come out last year was truly ass. So for that, I'm docking points. Not every creative pursuit is a good one.
I remember.
That's why I only
about
talk about the music, because
I know
who the
we
fuck
talked about
cares?
this,
Like,
but I don't listen enough ASAP Rocky to have an opinion based just in music.
He is big within fashion, but
yeah,
and just general culture, like period. You know.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go first in the next one. It's Future, and I'm gonna give him an A. I'm sorry.
There's nothing.
Future is another. I feel very similar to ASAP Rocky, where like I have a lot more respect than I have actual enjoyment. I'm and like ASAP Rock. The thing is, I know so much more Future.
Dude, when you
that concert was like
changed everything.
You know, I don't know if it was like any of my favorites. I don't even think it was my favorite set of that day, but it was one of the most unique sets of my life.
A doozy.
Yeah,
yes.
like I'm gonna go B+. Okay, I'm gonna go B+ again. Yeah, I'm like, I cannot possibly put him below ASAP Rocky, but I also can't. Yeah, because like, you know, I don't know if he's my favorite Atlanta trap artist, but he's certainly the biggest. Like,
he's literally the biggest, and like a lot of people who came afterwards has already said like it's Future. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, so I'm going B+. You're going A.
Yeah, his discography would put him at like a high B, and then the influence pushes me over.
Yeah,
at least for trap. Jasper, are you like gonna come in with like a D?
A-.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
okay, we can go
I think like the catalog is all there. It's all super solid.
It's all there.
My only thing is that I think that much like how we kind of talked about Travis having that like sound that is ubiquitous with like a certain genre almost, it's like I feel like Future is that for just trap in general, where it's like it almost comes off as a little generic just because he helped define the boundaries
like
of the
the
genre
Atlanta
so much.
trap sound so
exactly
much.
Yeah,
it's almost like the same effect as like Nirvana. If you listen to like Nirvana among other grunge artists, it's like it doesn't sound special at all because they created the blueprint for all these other artists, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't sound as flashy as Young Thug and Migos, but that's because Young Thug and Migos are doing a take on Future, and Future just created that sound.
I've talked about it on this show before, but I call that in terms of like film, like the Saving Private Ryan effect, where it's like Saving Private Ryan is like this incredible war film that depicted war like it was never shown in cinema before. Mm-hmm. But if you go back and watch it now, it seems underwhelming compared to like a lot of other more contemporary war movies that have like built on that formula. Same kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a very similar thing. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, bet put them in A. G-Eazy.
G-Eazy.
D.
Ooh, you said what?
D.
Okay.
D is for dumb.
Yeah, I'm going D.
F is for fuck you for disrespecting David Bowie's memory. How about that?
Yeah.
Works for me. I have no arguments.
Yeah, I'm going D.
Open shut case. I think we're on 4, right? This is the 4th one.
Yes.
Gucci Mane.
A
Hold on,
plus.
hold on. Original Fat Gucci Mane or
You
clone
gotta
Gucci
take
Mane?
every
Bro,
into consideration.
bro. To this day, I haven't said it in months because I've been riddled with depression. But to this day, when I'm feeling good, I'm like, bro, I'm out here feeling like fat Gucci. Bro, I'm A plus.
Got your boy
Mane in
feeling like?
2006.
I'm fat Gucci right now.
Nah, I definitely feel like Gucci Mane in 2006 when I'm down. So I'm cool with putting Gucci as an A.
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen, so I don't really have nearly as much of an opinion in terms of just the music. But I would say overall, like,
The impact is just huge.
yeah, the impact, the
The
influence,
impact
it's all
is
there.
huge.
Yeah.
I'd give it like a B plus, A minus.
Okay. I don't
But-
hate any of that.
okay. All right, we'll throw him in there. And the last one, it's gonna be a question mark for me. I just don't know enough. But Remy Ma.
Oh, I
No
know
idea.
Remy Ma. Yeah, no. I give Remy Ma like a B. I think she is an
Okay.
incredibly skilled lyricist. I think she has excellent beat selection. I don't think she has ever completely put together a really solid project. I would say she's kind of well, now with Megan, maybe she's fallen out of the top 3 of like female artists I think are primed to drop classics. Because
Mhm.
like I think my top 3 I think prime are like Megan, Rhapsody, and Tierra Whack.
Okay.
So I would put Remy Ma as like right underneath them.
I know she's been around the industry for a super long time and it's
Yeah.
been pretty influential, but besides that, I don't know enough.
No, yeah,
So I am
she's
fine
she's
with
good.
that.
I would give her an incredibly solid B.
But I'm down for a B. All right, gentlemen, we've made it through school's in session. Thank you for attending class today.
Yeah. All right, shall we talk about our review
Onto
this
the
week?
topic.
Reviewing All Is Yellow.
Yes.
Is Lyrical Lemonade the artist?
Yes.
Okay. So by Lyrical Lemonade, it's a label album. I guess it's probably the closest thing
I think that's
that
a
we can go
close thing
to.
to put.
Jasper, do you
Yeah.
want to introduce the album a little bit?
Yeah, the way I approached it, having listened to it and just kind of going through, to me, this is very much it's a bit of a melting pot in the way that it kind of presents elements of the different focuses and the different characters that kind of are like recurring within the Lyrical Lemonade media sphere, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
I think of Lyrical Lemonade as being like this multimedia company, mostly centered in video, but branching out into music with
Mhm.
like basically connecting artists who they work with regularly and you know, kind of putting them in these situations where they have the opportunity to work together. In that way, I think it's a bit like I Know Nigo, which is kind of like my default kind of jumping off point for these kind of like more group projects. But this definitely feels like a little more overlapping, a little more collaborative, not just somebody kind of like surgically cutting things up in a back room or like in a studio and putting them together, but rather like artists who all are focused on working with a particular label or like or person, in this case like Cole Bennett and his team, all kind of coming together and having something to contribute. So
Yeah.
so that's kind of like my view on the project as a whole in terms of like the production behind it.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been like a massive passion project for that team, I know, for probably the last year and a half or so. And there've just been lots and lots of like back and forth, picking things out, selecting what's going to kind of sequence where and what videos are going to be made and so on and so forth. So super cool project overall.
I was actually very excited to look into this one too because I was watching his interview that he had with I want to say Complex,
Yep.
Yeah.
and he was kind of breaking down his like vision overall because
Mhm.
he was saying like I don't think there's been an album where he just said he took it upon himself. He said I want to make a music video for every single song and have it
Mhm.
be a consistent theme across like the whole thing. And I'll be honest, I personally haven't heard of that before, and
So
I think
I
they
heard
have a unique stance to do that.
so like I heard this and this kind of like made me this was kind of like the most sour note in the experience like when I was watching this interview because like During the pandemic, I launched a YouTube channel where I did video essays about things I liked, and I did an essay about Brockhampton and how they make videos, and like their process of making videos is exactly what Cole described. You know, like what Cole did to like kind of create like a consistent visual language around this album with all the music videos is what they did for basically every release of their entire discography. And so I think like this is like kind of the ash in my mouth with Lyrical Lemonade is that I always feel like they're the most media savvy people trying to pretend that they're the innovators in a space. And it's like, this isn't the first time this has been done. Like, you know, albums have been birthed from a cohesive visual vision for a long time. You know, even if you go back to like the early Mac Miller stuff with Rex Arrow. Right. So I see this as like a development of that. I do not see this as like a particularly innovative step in the space.
Yeah, and that transcends genres too. I mean, Daft Punk did it with Interstellar 5555. Like,
sure,
this has existed for a while.
Well, Interstellar 555 is a different thing because I believe that was made after the music. Whereas, like, for example, with Brockhampton, they would shoot and they would develop the visual identity of the album before they even made the music.
I need to look when it came out because I know that the opening is the actual, like, the opening to that film is the official music video for One More Time as well. But I'll see. But yeah, like these things exist, and I don't know if it's necessarily something that Lyrical as a group necessarily takes credit for, but definitely something that I think that they, aside from being media savvy, tend to have a knack for executing in a way that comes off as like publicly facing in like a positive light. Yeah. So I think that's where like the skill kind of lies. They just are good at marketing it for sure.
Oh yeah, I think they're very good. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I think like there is a lot about the visuals in these music videos I really enjoy. So like I think like there's a lot to like here. And I definitely think like Lyrical Lemonade definitely has like just an ear for not just talent, but also like talent, right? It's one thing to just be able to like identify like what's hot and what's not. Like that's a skill set in and of itself. But to be able to do that consistently and kind of like corral like this almost like this extended universe of artists who have these connections to Lyrical Lemonade, that is, I think, the thing Lyrical Lemonade has done that's very impressive. Is kind
just a side note,
cultivate this stuff.
Yeah. Just a side note, I did look it up. The idea of making a film that visualizes the music of Discovery came about during the early recording sessions for the album, but the animation is what made it take a long time. So the project originally came out, like Discovery was 2001. The animation didn't actually release until 2003, but they were being developed side by side.
Sure. But you see how that's different than actually going out and shooting footage before you even step in a studio.
For sure, yeah.
Yes.
Well, like you said, I think the most important or the most impressive thing
is
that
the featureless.
Lyrical Lemonade can do is it's
it's the feature. I think the featureless is like, insane. I think there are a lot of artists on this list that I don't particularly care for that were utilized some of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah,
right? And it's not 100%. just the elephant in the room. Like so yeah, no, I think there's a lot to like about this album. I thought it was a very enjoyable album. I think it is just kind of like the hits album, which is not a bad thing. You know, you just step up to the plate and you make hits, and I think they hit it out the park 7 out of 10 times. There's a few lowlights on here, but that's to be expected, like especially on a such a collectivist project, But yeah, no, there are songs on here from really established artists that I like more than the recent stuff. There are songs from artists who I've never really quite gravitated to that I've liked more on here, and I've also really liked a lot of the visuals with this. I think this did have like a fully like thought out like color palette and visual language, like the way things were framed and the way things cut and everything throughout all the videos was very inconsistent. Were very consistent. There is one specific video that left like a very bad taste in my mouth that we will talk about as we break them down, but it's
Okay.
Yeah. So those are my initial feelings.
Should we get into our first listen then, like the actual
Yeah.
music?
Yeah. Do we want to do music first or videos first?
Do music first.
Okay, because like I listened to the videos first because I just wanted to go in kind of just like understanding that. But yeah, no, let's do the music first. So, what do we think about the first song, "Fly Away," with Sheck West, Ski Mask, and Jid? Because like I think
Certified banger.
yeah, no, this is a very very good opener.
Strong start.
Yeah, no,
Jid?
I
Strong
think
start.
Yeah, the way Jid comes in is
yeah, no, I
yeah.
think this is quality. I love Sheck West's inclusion on this. I don't love the beat. I like it. I don't love it. But yeah, no, I think like this is a excellent start for this album, and I also think it like lays the groundwork for like what this is going to be.
I was gonna say I think it does set a good expectation because I did see the feature list and I was trying to find out how in the world are they gonna fit. Essentially, I understand it's only like 30 artists or 35 artists or
Yeah,
something, but it's like 50 different people coming together, whether it be producers, additional like whatever it is. So it immediately out the gate lets you know that like they're just throwing people together, and it kind of worked.
yeah.
And I was watching, and I don't mean that in a negative way at all,
No, I think it
but
was pretty measured. I think like
yeah.
I don't. There was nothing. I think there are definitely some songs on here that I think like come across a little flat, but there was nothing to
Mhm.
me that just felt like whipped together. You know what I mean?
Right. It
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
feel forced at all.
like honestly, I think the next song on the track list is a great example of that because
Mhm.
"Guitar in My Room" is like such a weird song to have a Little Dirk on, but I think it actually works really fucking well. Actually,
Mhm.
like, and truth be told, I like Kid Cudi's performance on this more than anything on Insano. You know,
Oh,
like,
I gotta think about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm
that's
gonna,
kind of a good take.
no, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. So,
Yeah.
you know, the album has a very strong start, and we're not even done with it.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, no, so yeah, like I think like just like the way it's able to bring like different artists together in like unique and like kind of surprising ways.
Mhm.
I think Guitar in My Room is like probably the best example of that. I think it gets weirder as it goes on, but like in a good way.
It
Uh
does get weirder, but this is a good test within itself
yeah,
because
this is like a good tone setter.
there's no crossover, in my opinion, between a Little Dirk fan base and a Kid Cudi fan base. It just I
Yeah.
don't see much crossover there, so that could introduce people to the music, and that's actually something that I watched the Fantano video before earlier today before we recorded, and one of the best points that he brought up was like the strongest part about Lyrical Lemonade is that they actually have put artists on the map, and like they've
Yeah.
done it time and time again,
Yeah.
and like there's visual proof of like people who are on this album that they essentially helped blow up,
Yeah.
and
100%.
so
Yeah. 100%.
just like being able to bring all these different sounds together, it is an impressive feat. It doesn't
No,
always work
yeah.
on every song, but I think he
Yeah.
said if it sinks and if it swims, and it's just like Loki. That's a good way to like actually phrase a lot of these songs because like it just kind of you wouldn't
Yeah.
ever put these artists together, but like if it sinks and swims, then like put it out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And like I think another example of a song that like just kind of I think on a even on a good but lesser kind of I really am just kind of thinking of this as a producer album. I know it's not. I know it's like in some very meaningful ways like not a producer album. But like I think like on a lesser producer album, I think a song like Say Your Grace would come across very like thrown together.
Mhm.
And to me, this is a highlight of the album. You know,
That's my
like
favorite song
yeah, well, I don't know about that, but like
for me.
yeah, no, I Say Your Grace is absolutely uh like a highlight of the album. I love Chief Keef's inclusion. I think him and Little Yachty go back and forth incredibly well.
Hmm.
Um, and I think like the no, that's not it. Uh, give me one. Yes, okay. Yeah, I think the next one is probably the first big album, one where it does kind of feel like it goes away from me, like it misses a step.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the one with Kid Laroi.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one that kind of like you know that those first 3 tracks I think are
strong.
an excellent, strong opener for an album, but I think this kind of has the wind taken out of its sails.
I think another thing that low key plays into it, and this is just my personal opinion, there's very obvious. I don't want to say that he didn't try on certain songs, but it's very clear that like some are meant to be hard hitters. Like obviously, Doomsday is meant to be like the highlight.
Yeah,
It is the
it's the
moment,
centerpiece. Yeah, it's the
right?
pinnacle of the album.
Exactly. But on the other end, you're going to have songs that like just kind of feature the people that aren't as big. Like I like Lil Tecca, I like Lil
Yeah.
Skies, and I've listened to all of their discography to be honest. But like there's levels to it. Like if we're being honest, there's just levels to the industry,
There's levels
and
to it.
so
And I think
when it comes together, it's not gonna hit as hard.
Right, and I think it hits better on the next one, First Night.
Mm-hmm.
I like First Night. I don't love it. I thought I would like it more because I like
It's all over the place.
It's very all over the place, right? I do like it. I like it more than This Is My Life. And spoiler alert, I like it more than Special. But
Really?
yeah, I mean, and I like Lotto and Sway Lee and Amine, but that was another one. That and With the Fish kind of like were other like kind of they didn't hit as well for me. Granted, I'm going to be clear here. Like I watched the videos each a couple of times, except for the short film. I only watched that once. I only got through the album 1.5 times. So I got through the Eminem Doomsday the second time around. But yeah, no, Special I didn't. Special and With the Fish I thought were also kind of like duds for me. But First Night I thought was kind of crazy, kind of all over the place, but I liked it. And anything that has Denzel Curry and Little B and Tizo, like what 3 fucking weirdos.
It's an insane song. It opens up with the Tizo singing, saying like I can sing and bragging about it. Goes hard cuts into a beat switch into a like actual hard beat, and ends with Little B with a monologue about we can have sex, but we don't have to have sex. And it's just like
it's about a formative consent.
Hold on a
I don't
second.
know what's going on here.
No. I'll tell you what's going on here. Who do you think the target demographic for this album is?
Children.
I mean,
exactly. So the fact that there's a positive message
don't know
here,
who Little B is.
it doesn't matter. It's somebody who
it's
somebody who's on a lyrical record. They'll listen to that.
No, they
won't. But the whole point being that it's like, oh well, you know, it's nice to see that there's something that's not pressure from an industry to behave a certain way, which exists in a lot of other places.
I
wasn't mad at that.
I'm not gonna give you that. I mean, I thought it was
like Sunday school.
I thought
I don't know what to tell you.
I thought it was funny in like a Little B kind of way.
Yeah,
like
true.
I thought it was like funny and weird. Like I don't know about
also,
this. I don't think it's any positive value. I think exactly 0 people are gonna listen to this and then make better choices.
You're right, but also, I think they know who Lil B is. I mean, he was at 10 year.
Man, Lil B was a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I love Lil B.
Long time ago.
Swag like wonton soup, but
I barely remember Little B. That it was a while ago.
Yeah,
Fair.
But anyway, moving on, like you said.
What did you guys feel about
like Special a little bit.
Yeah, you like Special?
I kind of like Special. Of all the songs that actually make sense of artists being together, I feel like this one kind of makes the most sense. Lotto and Amina kind of worked off each other well.
Okay.
With the Fish, again, it's just
I agree that like Lotto and Amine like makes sense on a level. You know? I think the song just kind of came across too sugary sweet for me.
It is compared to other songs, yes, it is very sugary sweet. And again, with the Fish, you're just gonna have certain songs that's like these aren't big names.
Yeah,
so you kind of grab it or you don't.
Yeah. So should we talk about the big one, the elephant in the room, Doomsday?
Yes, please.
The biggest music video, the biggest song.
Yeah.
Biggest
features. The song, I fucking loved. I think this song.
It's a great song.
This song's incredible. I think it's very gross and wildly unethical to use Juice WRLD's face in a video. I'm sorry, I can't get over it. That's a real human being whose family misses him. Like
Yeah.
I will not watch that video a second time. I think the effect is really well done and very cool, and like if he was alive today to consent to being in this video,
Right.
I would feel very differently about it. Right? I think this is a legitimately well executed video. I just like, and this is something that has been like, because like I come from like the movie world, like this is something that has been like an issue in like the movie world for like the last like decade, with like people like using CGI to like bring old actors back and like talking about like the ethical ramifications of that. And I do think the song is very good, but like it is kind of creepy to me that they keep using this dead child's voice, right? And
I fully agree.
then they make me look at it.
I
thought
totally
the end of
agree.
the video where they're showing like the older video with him and Corday, and they're like animating, right? Like what they're saying. Like I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool and totally above board. But like I thought the face swapping thing was like a little much to be doing with a dead person.
I completely respect that and agree.
Well,
The
hold
one
on.
saving grace I would say, to actually counter it, they made the song before he died, so that is nice. That like the song was essentially finished, and Juice WRLD did consent to the song coming out. I don't know about the video,
Yeah.
and to be fair, we didn't give Kendrick this hard of a time.
Yeah, about
Like-
Nipsey. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, but Nipsey's not featured on the song though.
Does it matter?
Yes.
It's still a face.
Yeah, it's their likeness.
Because that's the important part. It's the face that's bothering you, not the feature.
I think I would personally think it's more appropriate if they're on the song, because it's like there's footage of them from behind the scenes where it's
no,
like maybe
because
they're
if
pulling
they're
from that
on the
footage.
song, then there's clearly an economic incentive that has to be considered. Like, who's getting the money from those resources? Juice WRLD contributed an amount of labor to this. Who is, especially if he did it while he was alive, right? No, I mean, I don't think those are different things. I think those are different things. And yeah, you're right. Like maybe my initial, glimpse at it is, Nipsey Hussle. But the other thing is that Nipsey Hussle's ghost has been pimped out of,
I mean, so has Juice WRLD.
No, but like Nipsey Hussle hasn't been like
I see
pimped out nearly as bad as Juice WRLD has. Right? Like
that's fair.
I think there's an element of like you got to let him rest. Right? Like you guys are taking way too much of that. And I'll also put out there, I also think there's something to be said about artistic merit. I think like Kendrick had even in like without words, clearly had like a point of reference that he was making and using like Nipsey Hussle's face for, versus like Juice WRLD, where it's like resurrecting an artist to put him back into a music video. That's where I see the difference, right? Is because like one is the result of a singular artist and one is the result of a machine. So I get, people are going to differ on that, but that's where I stand.
I get it.
Yeah.
And like you said, Juice WRLD unfortunately has been beaten down a lot. So
yeah,
I understand
him. X, like
it is nicer that this is a better one than a lot of the other things that's been coming out.
For sure, yeah, and
we've gotten so much.
This song is incredible. The song's incredible, and like once again, I think the video is very well done. I just, I think it's weird to just like kind of keep bringing these dead artists back.
I did just ask about it, and they would have had to get permission from the family and from the production team to do it. So it's not like they just did it without any of that.
I get that, but like you get that like families can be shitty though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I get the point. I'm just saying it's not like these guys just went and did it to do it. It's like they definitely.
I never said they did. Channels. I just said like
no. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I just think like when an artist dies, I think that's like a hard line. I think it's like one thing like when people's estates are like very carefully cultivated, like Mac Miller, but like I think like it's been very clear that Juice WRLD's estate is pretty comfortable putting out a lot of stuff that maybe he was not. And I get Doomsday, the song does not count as that. But I just, you know, like someone's got to like look out. I don't know. I just think it's very gross. You know.
Understandable. Well, I guess going into part 2, we have an altered beat to the original beat, and then Eminem is rapping over in this one. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't had my Eminem face, so I didn't even really know this was like a remix to an older song.
Yeah, it is. Very well done, by the way. And I liked Eminem's inclusion on this. I've really the song he made with Juice WRLD before he passed, Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
I like that song a lot. And I like that video a lot too.
Good video, cool band. There you go.
No, that was you know, I like a good amount of the Lyrical Lemonade videos. So I like Doomsday and Doomsday Part 2 as far as like on the album, I think are as high of a pinnacle as we might see this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they're great songs.
Well, should we go into Fallout?
Sure.
Because I'm kind of iffy on Fallout.
I'm iffy on Fallout too. I like Joey Badass, and I think he's good. But, like...
He did not fit. This is the one where the artists were thrown together, and none of the people fit each other, in my opinion.
No, I feel you that. I feel that. I feel that. And, like, on the next track, they put two artists together who just... I'm sorry. As good as the song is, I still don't think they fit. Like, I still don't think they fit.
Who decided to let this happen, and why did it work?
But it totally worked. The Equilibrium with Babytron and G Herbo.
Babytron's best verse ever?
Dude, I think that's even selling it.
Banger?
I think that's... I gotta do the very rare compliment vis-a-vis hating. I don't think... Like, I think this is way better than Babytron.
This is not Babytron. This is a whole nother level.
I don't know about that. I still think it has its flair. But, like, if you would have told me, like, oh, this is Babytron's best verse, I'm like
so it's still not good.
And it's like, you know.
He's fancier than Squilliam, dude.
Yeah, dude, no, this was an excellent song. I still think I preferred G Herbo, but Dude, Babytron ruined Jid for me. Like, when Babytron was in Jid, I couldn't even like it that much.
And that's hard, because Jid's better.
Yeah.
I mean, they both did very well. It's one of his best verses ever. He out-rapped G Herbo, in my opinion.
On a technical level, for sure. I just like G Herbo. I still just think, like, Babytron's presence is weird, but here it was working for me.
It worked.
But yeah, no, this is... It's not my favorite song on the album, which we'll get to, which is a shocker. Mm-hmm. But this was the most surprising. I texted Purvis, like, when I listened to this, and I was like, did I just hear a very good Babytron verse? Like,
dude, I was literally sitting next to Jasper at lunch when he texted me, and I was just like, bro, like, all of us actually enjoyed this.
This was a really, really good song. 100%.
And then we go into what I think is the worst song. I don't care.
Yeah, this song. So, Purvis, you know this song is like kind of a cover.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Yeah, it's a cover of a
cover. I hate it.
I don't hate it. I don't think it's awful. It is nowhere near the level of contempt I have for like the same as like the Little Uzi cover from the System of a Down cover on his album.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was a lot, and it was a weird cover of Miss You by Blink-182. I don't think it was awful, but it wasn't great.
I didn't like it.
Nah.
Jasper,
what did you think?
I goddamn. I didn't think it was good, but I also am not mad at it. Like, it's not a song that I would skip just playing through the album. It's just like, it's one of the lower points for me personally. With that said, I think that I feel some strangely like validated in this a little bit, because I think when we did our Pink Tape review, I basically said, I was like, I feel like interpolation is coming back as like a bigger trend than it has been in a long time, because it's like, it's like a step away from sampling in a way that's like novel, right?
Yeah.
And I think that this is kind of validates me a little bit in that kind of, I don't want to say prediction, but that forecast of like, yeah, interpolation is something that we've been getting more of lately. Good or bad, it's around, and I think that
Would
that's
you
kind of
call?
funny.
I would disagree calling the Little Uzi cover an interpolation at all.
I'm not
That
talking about the Lil Uzi cover. I'm talking about the other song where he has an interpolation of, um, fuck, what is it? He's got a Kanye song, a Chief Keef song, and like somebody that I used to
Yeah.
know, all wrapped into one thing where
Yeah.
he's like borrowing the melodies.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm talking
God,
about.
that album was
Yeah.
all over the place.
It really is,
the
yeah.
album's so bad.
Jesus Christ. All
My
over
God.
the place.
But yeah, no, I
Yeah,
mean
it's
interpolation is
everywhere.
just
Yeah.
the thing is that interpolation can is often done like unconsciously.
Oh, and also endless
No.
fashion with the
Yeah.
blue da ba da die. That whole thing.
Yeah,
Look, as long as it's
took
done
an
well.
annoying song and made it worse.
Yeah.
It's like they let poop spoil. How'd you do that? Like,
I'm just saying, as long as it
yeah.
sounds good, I don't care what people do.
Yeah.
Just make it work, and
Well,
it doesn't work.
well, like one of my favorite examples of interpolation was it's on After Hours. It's on the Scared to Live, where like during like the chorus in the background he does like a little vocal fill where he's not even saying lyrics. He just goes like but like he does like a little melody, and it turns out it's the exact melody from like an Elton John song, and he was like subconsciously interpolating it. So like that's like I feel like interpolation is just like a consistent part of just music composition, and like I'm totally okay with artists putting it more forward. I think interpolation is always more interesting than a straight cover, but you know, and I don't know. I certainly do not hate this song. Like I do not think it's particularly bad. I think it's like very misplaced on the album, and I also do not particularly care for any of these artists individually, but I don't hate it by any stretch. So if it is coming more forward in recent days, like interpolation as a thing, I'm into it. I'm not upset.
Yeah, I mean, one of the greatest songs of the last 30 years that we all love has interpolation on it. I'm talking White Ferrari.
Yeah.
He interpolates the Beatles. Like, yeah, fuck yeah.
That's true. Again, if it's done right,
yeah,
I'm all for it. But like, it has to be done right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over Hummingbird. This one I think was the Tizo touchdown feature I liked more, but this is a song I only heard once.
The Hummingbird?
Yeah.
I'm going to go the opposite way. I liked the intro on this
First Night.
What is it? Yeah, First Night better, just because I think it shows more of his range. I still think that overall, of all the artists on this project, he was one of the ones who I think was underutilized in the sections that he had. Yeah. Because he's got like a bit of a verse here, but it's relatively monotone. It doesn't really show off what he can do as a vocalist.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think even though I had very mixed feelings on his album, I think I'm just kind of in Tizo's corner. Because like, I don't know. I think he's just like a very creative guy. So I think I'm just like weirdly like just gonna like what he does.
True.
But yeah, this was a forgettable song for me. Whereas like Fallout, I definitely remember like how off base Joey Badass sounds, no matter how much I like him. But yeah, but now we get to what is debatably the biggest surprise on the album for me, even more than the Babytron.
Yeah,
was Stop Giving Me Advice, because
a great closer.
This is a classic track as far as I'm concerned.
Bro,
Dave with a verse of the year contender.
Yeah,
I'd say 100%. I think Dave's verse is
snap.
Yes, I don't want to overstep that. I'm not a huge Jack Harlow fan. This was an excellent Jack Harlow song. Fantastic. But I think Dave, like, verse of the year competition, he's like way out ahead. Like, better than anything I heard on Cudi or Savage.
Yeah.
Maybe even better than anything I heard on Benny, and I like that album. Like,
yeah. The Benny album was
the fact that I was talking to Purvis about this. I am not a fan of the British rap sound when it's like heavily accented.
Yeah.
I just think it comes off as weird and juxtaposed from like what I grew up with and like what I'm familiar with from the genre.
Yeah.
But with that being said, this really grew on me quickly, and I'm also not a Jack Harlow enthusiast. So for me to subject myself to listening to Jack Harlow, to listen to this verse after the fact in a style that I normally didn't like, I think speaks volumes to how
No, yeah.
good it is.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, because I'm not a Jack Harlow fan at all. I mean, I liked his feature on Industry Baby. I like his song that's currently #1.
What's it called? I know exactly what you're talking about. We talked about this
we've talked about it. It's a good song. It has like the Whips and Chains one.
Loving on Me.
Love It On Me. Yeah, I like Loving On Me. I thought that was like a better than Nail Tech and all them other songs. What's poppin'? You know.
Oh, of course, yes.
Fuck that song. I hate that song.
Is it because it's like an overplayed song?
No, I'm so sick of songs. I'm really sick of songs that have to rely on like it's like a hook that's not. How do I describe this? It's like a hook that is so musically distinct that like that's all you can fundamentally remember from the song. So I really don't like that, and I really don't like Doja Cat because bum 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 bum. That's like all you get.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing about the song that's redeeming in like keeping it in your memory. I think that's lazy personally, but that's me.
Yeah. Of course, it's just so good. No, I'm just
yeah.
I'm curious though, did either one of you listen to Jackman? Because I did listen to Jackman recently, and I actually enjoyed it a lot.
I did not listen to Jackman.
No.
So like, it didn't surprise. Jack has been on like he's been coming up slowly and very quietly, and like I genuinely enjoyed Jackman. So when I heard this voice, I wasn't even shocked.
Yeah,
he's been doing very well.
I mean, like I guess I wasn't super shocked because I am coming off a single of his that I like a lot more than pretty much anything else. But yeah, no, that was kind of just how I felt. But yeah, no, and once again, like I love Dave's inclusion. So yeah, overall, like this was a really positive listening experience. You know, I think there was a lot of songs here that, you know, as far as just like having any songs in my rotation, I think this is going to be an album that has some lasting value. You know,
absolutely.
For me personally, it was a lot harder to get through than my enjoyment would allow me normally, but I think that might have been me a little bit this week. Like it was just kind of like, you know, I think like because like there isn't just because like this is just the perspective I approach anything from, like what's the creative, like what am I looking at here? Like what's the point of view? And like when you have that's just like the inherent vice of having like all these kind of artists, right? Is that you don't have a point of view. You know, you have all these different dynamic artists working off each other in a way that makes everyone better. And that's like the benefit. But like the negative is that like you don't really have any kind of singular vision. Right. I think like that's kind of like was the thing that was keeping me hard to get through. But overall, like just like looking back at like my feelings on each song, like I gotta say like way more hits than misses.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the best way to put it, you said it, or you stated at the beginning of what you were saying that it is truly a listening experience. Not saying that it wasn't quality, but like the experience itself and seeing all these artists come together and how they made it work alone was just as enjoyable as like hearing the music. So
yeah,
I'm all in for it. But I guess the last like things that we can cover is the actual video aspect because that's what they specialize in. How are you guys feeling about like some of the videos? Anything stand out? Is anything you not enjoy?
Besides my rant on the Doomsday video, no, I thought everything else was like. I thought "Stop Giving Me Advice" had the best music video for sure, but I thought everything was like very felt of a piece. You know, I really like the Guitar in My Room video a lot as well. And I like the Equilibrium video a lot as well. The Hello There video was probably like the weakest one for me. And what was the other one? Fuck. There was just like so many of them. And they were hard to find.
What about Say Your Grace?
Say Your Grace.
I like Say Your Grace the most,
yeah,
probably.
Say Your Grace. Yeah, that was a fun one. I think the one I liked the most was Stop Giving Me Advice.
I like the Fallout video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
The video was better than the song.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I differ from both of you on that. I actually like this song. One thing that I appreciate about this project, regardless of how I was gonna feel about it musically, luckily I really enjoyed it overall. I was like, I know I'm gonna come away from here finding out about artists who I didn't know about and who I'm gonna follow up on, and Gus Dapperton is gonna be one of those because that like weird vocal style, I'm into it. Like I want to learn more about that, and I want to like find more of that. So
interesting.
Definitely like a bit of a highlight for me, like almost like Francis and the Lights-esque in that way, sort of. But I thought that video was cool. The video for Stop Giving Me Advice, I think highlight highs and lows because I think it falls victim to a couple of like trendy styles in cinematography right now that are going to kind of fade away and it's going to be kind of dated because of it. But at the same time, I'm a sucker for selective coloring. So the fact that like only the yellow objects were colored, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
But
that
like
my first movie was all selective coloring. Like we picked like a color for every character and everything was black and white except for their color.
Yeah, it's like Schindler's List, but make it Big Bird.
Yeah, it was Pleasantville. That's the one that does that.
Yeah. But the thing I'm talking about is like they do the whole like rotational and it's like multi cuts while the camera's rotating. That's like a big trend right now. That's been on like social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Popularized by Formula One. Just want to put it out there. But there was that, and then also in the Guitar in My Room video where they're doing like the green screen where it's like freeze frames of each of them, and they're kind of like filling those freeze frames. Like that's been a thing for a while, and that's not like offensive or anything. It's just it's interesting to see it used in that way, and I think it was executed well. It's just like it feels like such a I don't want to say standard, but like a more commonplace like visual technique. Interesting to see it recreated in something that feels so unique as like its own project that's like new and different otherwise.
Yeah, I get that. I think for me, what I would say is like the highs and lows, and then just like my overall take on all the videos. I think my personal favorite one was the Say Your Grace. I feel like I don't know how the timing worked, so I have no stance behind this claim. But I feel like a lot of the artists that were supposed to be in music videos just happen to be together for the Say Your Grace one, because the Say Your Grace one has Denzel Curry in it, it has Big Sean in it, it has some other artists in it that aren't even in the song.
Yeah.
They're just kind of in the background. So it just kind of makes sense having all the cameos on there and such big names. And like I said, it's one of my favorite songs on the album. So that's probably my favorite music video. My least impressive one was probably Equilibrium, just because it was so basic. There was one shot that was overhead for G Herbo where he's looking up.
Yeah.
And then there was another shot. Like, I don't know everything that goes into these videos, so I don't want to like undermine it, but it just seemed like, oh, this is a green screen and like this angle or this one scene kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
But what I did notice in terms of like as an overall view, because apparently every song is supposed to have a music video, there is a very clear jump between like a typical Lyrical Lemonade video and like what we've been getting here.
Yeah.
And that's not to take like a shot at these videos, but like if you look at the Drake and Lil Yachty one that just came out,
Yeah.
like that
Another
was
Night
a
or something.
massive project, and there was so much that went into it, and like you can even see the interview of like how that came together. It's just like none of the videos here got that special treatment. And like I get it, you're making 14 videos in one, and it's all supposed to be like a collective video that spans across the album.
Yeah,
so it's a little unrealistic expectation, but you can tell the quality drop.
It also just has to do with the maybe not necessarily just quality, but like the artistic style or input of the people who work on the project. I think that there's very much like a kind of like playfulness to some of the lyrical videos that doesn't come across in like more of the I don't want to say professional, but like more of like the traditional video styles of some other artists. Like one of the main points of comparison I always think of is like Kendrick's videos and just how like unbelievably serious and professional they come across relative to some other like artists across all of hip hop, not just lyrical.
Yeah.
But like I think about the video for not just N95. What's the other one off of Mr. Morale where he's like sitting at the piano?
Oh,
I know what the therapist.
Savior.
Yeah, Savior. I think about the Savior video, and I'm just like, this looks like a fucking movie. Like, I know he's
Yeah.
working with people in the industry, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it really does come down to that art direction and like the
Yeah.
cinematographer who you're working with.
Yeah. Like I think, like yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to that. Like I think if we're talking about like just picking the right talent to get the right aesthetic, I think you brought up Kendrick. So have you guys seen the Element video?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So like that was influenced by like these really famous series of like photojournalism covering Africa, and he got the photojournalist to be
That
like
is
the
so
director of
dope.
photography on the Element video, right? And if you go back and you look at it, like it's
It bleeds through.
composed like paintings, like it's insane.
The little
And
boy in the camera.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then again, like I am also of the fact that like generally speaking, I think videos with like such a high, gloss factor can like lose their soul really quickly. Like
Mhm.
I think I liked the earlier Lyrical Lemonade stuff for the same reason I liked a lot of the Brockhampton stuff, because it was like very raw and real,
Mhm.
especially like like around the Little Pump era,
Oh yeah,
like the
absolutely.
Boss video, right? Where I think Cole Bennett actually developed like a style and like a thing that made them unique.
Hmm.
Um, and but it was still raw and gritty, and like I like the Equilibrium video because I like the simple composition. I like how like just like the way like G Herbo is framed is very consistent across all the videos, like how they frame like cutaways for the artists. I think things like that are very interesting. So I
Hmm.
think like just being like a directing nerd, like I think I was able to take a little bit more out of some of these, but and which I don't always do with the lyrical videos, but these I thought were definitely a notch above the rest.
For sure. I was actually gonna say you two are definitely like the camera director people. So I was just
Yeah.
curious what you guys' takes would be, because I don't think we ever had like a fully deep video deep dive on the podcast, especially not to this extent. Just because
Yeah.
it's almost like a whole album of music videos.
Yeah.
Top
Yeah.
5 music video episode coming soon.
Maybe. I would have to think about those. That would be very hard.
That'd be a lot of fun.
All gold everything 5 times. Like
No
We
Church in the
could
Wild
we
5
could
times.
definitely do that
yeah.
soon. I
That'd
like
be
that
so
idea.
cool, and we could transcend genres too. Doesn't just
That'll
have
be
to
a
be hip hop. Oh
big
my
big
god,
lift, but yeah, we can do that.
let's do it, dude.
Soon.
Right.
We'll do it soon. Should we just
Maybe
do a grade then?
yeah, let's do a grade and let's do our Rex and get out of here. But yeah, no, I'm thinking a solid B plus. That's what I'm giving everything today. I'm giving a B plus. Like
Yeah, you're a B plus today. Jeez.
I just think that's where we're at with a lot of these things. I think I've made my arguments pretty well. I think there's some boring songs on this, but I think it's largely very good. Like
Jasper, what do you think?
I would say in the context of music that or I guess in the context of music that I listen to and like the quality standard that I hold other things to, I would also give it a B plus, just as far as like being a project in in not in a vacuum, right?
Mhm.
But looking at it as like I'm kind of torn because like as what is functionally a debut project for a company or like a production group, to pull all this talent together and come out with something that doesn't sound either just like really weird or very forgettable like a lot of supergroups and other like kind of big mashups tend to. I'm looking
yeah.
at you, like Phil Collins and Genesis.
Mhm.
um like I'm very impressed with like what came out of this. So like as like a project by itself, I would give it like an A or like an A minus. But just as like in the context of everything else going on musically right now, I give it a B plus, just because like there's other stuff out there that's also, you know, doing this to different degrees. It's not necessarily uniquely wholly original in any way, one way, but what it brings to the table, it executes really well, I think.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
like I think there's something to be said about like diversity, like just like
Yeah,
having a lot of different sounds play well together on an album.
totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I am feeling a B plus. I will say coming into this, my expectations were pretty low.
I don't
And
know. I
that's not
wouldn't say
to.
my expectations were low, but they just weren't sky high either.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
honestly, like I didn't think this would reinvent the wheel, and I think I was happy for that.
Yeah, I mean,
That is true.
after seeing like how, or after being as excited as I was about the lineup for Summer Smash last year, I was like, these guys know how to sequence things. Like, if they could do it for a festival, they could do it for a damn
For an
album.
album, absolutely.
Mm,
I
When
mean,
we don't have like 30,000 screaming people running around.
I
I
mean,
actually
the thing
disagree
is,
on that. I think those are just different things, and you shouldn't assume.
you good?
I mean, I was kind of joking, but like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. B is good. B is a more than average. B is a passing grade and
well above
colorful
passing,
passing grade,
above
right?
average. It's above average.
Exactly. And they did it well. And like you said, nothing like this hasn't really been done before, especially not to this degree. 50 plus different people working together on the album is a bit absurd.
No,
And I
yeah,
can't
it
even
is absurd.
imagine the stress that came with that. So
Yeah, no,
I
it's a bit
respect it.
absurd.
All right, bet. Rex.
All right. Do you want to do Rex? Who wants to go first?
I'll
I
do one.
mean,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
go for it,
Jasper, go first, and I'll go because I have a spiel.
I'm doing, today has proven to be part of the darkest timeline or a different timeline. So I'm going with something different for me. Notorious B.I.G. Juicy.
Ooh, very
Nice,
good song.
nice.
Very
A
good
classic
song.
among classics.
2005 remaster hits like fine wine every time.
That's a good song. That's a
Normally
good
I'm a Tupac enthusiast, but yeah, gotta flip the
I ain't
script a
mad
little
at
bit
you.
today.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at you.
Okay, so for me, so something I've been noticing, and like an artist who's I think is part of it, we talked about a lot today. Something I've been noticing in the last couple of years has been more and more bands and artists fusing rock music with R&B.
Mhm.
It started in 2021 two when Nightlife dropped their first EP. They're a pop punk band out of Baltimore that has they're also like all the musicians are like have like a jazz and soul background, and the singer has an R&B background. It's insane, right? But it's very much like in the same realm as like Fall Out Boy, right? And then I think you have Tizo Touchdown, who I think is very much like also in this. I think he definitely exists in a different sphere. He's certainly on the Lyrical Lemonade and not the basement hardcore show circuit. But I think creatively, I think it's impossible to say that his music is not just, but like it is a combination of rock aesthetics and R&B. So I found another band that falls into this trend called Sleep Theory out of the East Coast, which has more of like a almost like a hard rock, like almost like a butt rock, maybe like like some elements of like metalcore with a R&B singer like on the singing. So I think like it's a genre of music that I think is kind of having a moment. If you haven't noticed all the Creed memes and
Yeah.
divorced dad playlists on Spotify, but I think having like a singer from as dynamic a background as R&B, I think really elevates the music like to a whole nother level. And I checked out their first EP that dropped last year, and like I think it's very good. I'm very excited to see if these guys drop an album. So the song is Sleep Theory, Gone or Staying.
But okay, is this the group you sent me?
Yes, this is the same song I sent you.
But
Yeah,
I think I was gonna say I feel like I recognize that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. No, I'm really enjoyed them.
Oh yeah, and I actually did listen to it. I enjoyed the song. I don't think I was able to finish it because I was doing something.
Yeah.
It actually, I remember listening to it and
Yeah.
going, "Wait, they can sing for real." And I think
Yeah,
I
no,
texted you that.
and I think it's interesting because like musically, I think like the band they probably sound the most like is Killswitch Engaged from like back in the day. Who also incidentally their second singer was also black, but he was not an R&B singer. So you can tell the difference right away between like a group like Killswitch Engaged and Sleep Theory. So yeah, no, I'm on the lookout for these guys. I think they're probably going to be at Riot Fest, if not this year, next year. I'm very excited to see them.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'll do my first one. Mine won't be as long as a spiel, but this week Tottenham was playing a game and they went down 1-0 at halftime, and I had to go into a meeting and I was furious because we were losing. They scored 3 goals in 8 minutes, and it felt So good. Because so another other team had stole one of our players' celebrations, and then they were just trolling him. And so the TikTok song "Get Back" absolutely bangs. It's been like on so many different like football videos with like the Super Bowl coming up. So that "Get Back" is a motherfucker, and it felt so good. I was in a meeting and I was squeezing my phone while watching it because I couldn't react, and it felt so good.
Dude, I'm so happy they don't air NFL games during the workday.
Like, oh my god, I could not focus. But yeah, YTB Fat "Get Back." That is awesome.
Jasper, let's bring this on. You guys are gonna hate me for this, but I have to do it. Oh, Brandon, I think you might actually appreciate this. This one's weird. It's not an official song. It released during TV airing hours. And here's why. In 2021, the 20th anniversary of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, happened, right? The biggest nerd out there for this shit is Stephen Colbert. And he decided to put together a rap about Lord of the Rings being an excellent trilogy. No. You were not going to hate this.
It is an excellent trilogy.
Hold on.
And I
see
so
one of the names.
let me read to you the list of people who made this Lord of the Rings rap possible that I've linked in the document. Stephen Colbert, featuring John Baptiste, Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Billy Boyd, Dominic Monaghan, Hugo Weaving, Andy Serkis, Orlando Bloom, Viggo Mortensen, Method Man, Killer Mike, and Anna Kendrick.
That's a lot. Why is Anna Kendrick there? But yeah, no.
Because they say fuck Anna Kendrick at the end, and she's like, "What the fuck? Pitch Perfect isn't even like a real trilogy," and it's like a whole thing. Yeah. But the song is called "Lord of the Rings #1 Trilogy," and I have a link, and I will send it to both of you because you need to watch it. It's amazing.
Funny. I hate everything.
That is funny. I almost did a song that was technically only released in a YouTube video, but I'm going to save that for next week.
But Killer Mike saying "fuck Anna Kendrick" in a song is hilarious to me.
That is very funny.
Now you two have to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
That is fair.
I'll allow it.
All right. So this week I'm premiering my new playlist. My new playlist I've constructed to help me focus. I'm calling it "Songs That Make My Brain Go Whir" the second they start, featuring tracks like "Backseat Freestyle," "Loud." And my recommendation, "Ricky" by Denzel Curry. The second that song goes on, eyes rolled backwards, brain off in South Florida. No, I'm gone. Like, all of these songs just instantly wipe my brain and put me into some kind of state.
Given the name of that playlist, I'm surprised Kendrick's ADHD isn't on there.
No, it's
gonna be now.
No, it's only songs that start off like are hard from the first second.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, "Formation" by Beyonce's on there. I do have "Fiend" on there. Like.
Yeah, I mean that
real recognize real. I'll send you the playlist right now, Jasper. I've already sent it to Purvis.
Appreciate it.
Yes. I'll wrap us up then. I don't know why, but I've been in a lucky mood. So I've been listening to Lucky. Me, Myself, and I is an absolute classic. I don't care what anyone says. But man, it's Lucky rapping about some depressive stuff that people just go hard to. So that's what I'm closing.
It's just backseat. It's just swimming pools over and over again, getting harder and harder and harder to ignore.
Swimming pools, but it's only the first 4 seconds where you get that sad synth intro repeating.
Pour, drink, headshot, drink.
Yep.
Just more drink.
Oh my god.
Okay.
All right, guys. That was this episode. All is yellow. I have to piss.
Yes.